today I'm going to talk about how we are going to set up customer data exploration in Databricks using a Jupyter notebook. So first, I have created this GitHub repository called Databricks POC. This is not important, but it's good if you're trying to use some existing resources. In my case, I'm trying to use some Kairos models, this URL normalizer, and other kinds of Python functionality and libraries that we have written in house. So let's first talk quickly about the Databricks environment. If you've never done this before, your Databricks environment, assuming you have access, will just have your name and your workspace ID, usually your DexCare Health email ID here, and you can just basically go here and create a new notebook. Or in my case, because I had a GitHub repo setup, I just went to my workspace and I said create git folder, and I put the URL for my GitHub repo right here, set it up using the personal access tokens, and it pulls it up here. And then I went in and created this notebook called the Databricks POC demo notebook, which has all of the Tampa pipeline code in it. So Tampa is one of our existing customers, and we, just like for other customers, we have a custom data pipeline that pulls in data for them into the DexCare environment. For Tampa, we get data from Kairos. It's an API pull, and we get data from Epic, which is an SFTP data transfer, which they do. We don't directly hit Epic. Tampa uploads the SER and DEP files for us in the SFTP folder, which is an S3 folder. So standard Python code. I'm just installing my dependencies at the beginning of this notebook, and all of the different functions I need. I'm going to skim past this. The first step here is, for example, I'm getting this Epic Clinicians, which is the SER file. As soon as I get this create delta table, create delta table is a function that I wrote, but internally it calls this display df. Df stands for data frame. The minute you do that, that was all the custom functions I'd written. The minute you do that, it actually shows up this beautiful view of data for us. It's usually truncated. In our use case, we might just be fine. We don't have too many data rows, but effectively we can explore different columns, and we can write certain conditionals if we wanted to. So for example, if I want to say, hey, SER is one of, and it actually auto-populates all of the different data sets it sees, and I can actually do a lot of things here. I can also run direct SQL queries on this table that is created. Quickly take a step back first to see what are these tables that we are creating. So Databricks has the concept of a Unity Catalog, which is effectively a centralized data store, which is right here. So this was the workspace, this is a catalog. In our case, we are creating a catalog. So the topmost folder it's always structured in 3 different parts. The topmost folder is called a catalog. In our case, I'm using the term customer Tampa USF, just using the customer specific catalog name. And then internally, we create schemas. So we have catalog and then we have schemas. In our case, I'm creating 3 schemas called the bronze, silver, and gold. Bronze represents the raw data that we get from our customer. Then we take all these bronze data tables, run different kind of transformations on them, and that is what computes the silver data layer. And once we have all our silver tables, we take all of those silver tables and we create the gold data sets, which are ingested into the DexCare ecosystem. In our case, this is the DexCare clinician and then the DexCare departments. Now let's go back and look at the notebook to understand what else can we do with these data sets from within the constructs of the notebook. So once I have created this, by the way, I could have created these tables just right here, which is exactly how I did it. Once I had these, I can run, like I said, a bunch of these filters and things like that, or I can just run queries, SQL queries directly on my catalog, my schema, and the table name. Once I provide the fully qualified name of my data table, it lets me run whatever queries I want on top of it. Another beautiful thing we can do is we can actually see query performance. This is a simple query, but if it wasn't, I could literally see where the query bottlenecks are, how many files were read into it, how much time did it take, and I can actually look deeper into it to see my query profile. What are the different stages this query goes through? So really drilling into query performance and potentially even improving it if we were running into bottlenecks. Yeah, these are different kinds of queries I'm running. Same thing, once that was Epic Clinicians, and then this is all Epic Departments. Um, I'm creating some data diffs here which says that there is none, but Epic Departments has the same sort of construct where we have the dep ID, department name, all these MDM columns, and we can literally run any kind of queries on them right away. This gives me the ability to debug or to immediately inspect my data. I can do it. I can even share this notebook with anyone within or outside of my company, and literally with one click they'll be able to run and see exactly whatever I'm also seeing. So great for sharing across teams. I also have, so that was Epic. We can also get data directly from Kairos here. This shows you we are making actual API calls. So like this fetch provider is a function we've written. By the way, whenever someone's using these notebooks, we are going to preload and pre-create these functions and all of these tables, the bronze tables, so anyone can actually use these silver to look at the actual bronze data and also create silver and gold tables from it. So in this case, as we see, I don't think anyone outside of the data engineering team has ever seen this, but the idea is this is the data as it comes from Kairos. We have the location object, which is basically an array, and then we have the provider object. This is a JSON object, which kind of goes on, and then we have other kinds of IDs on here. But so Kairos has the concept of provider locations and market locations here. So this is all provider data, so provider locations. Then we do the same thing with market locations. In this case, we are making another API call to get the market location data, which is also pulled into here. Same thing, I can run any kind of queries on this, but I can also do something better where I can take that, and this is a flattened view, schema view of all the data. So this is actually queryable. This is human readable data. I can run different kinds of queries. I can run different kind of analytics on it, and I will touch upon all of that stuff a little bit more as I go. One quick thing I want to mention just right away is all of these tables, as I showed, were all available in the Unity Catalog. Now let's see what happens really. So Unity Catalog now has all of this data. I'm talking about a pipeline where we are ingesting data from within Databricks. So I can literally look at any of these tables. I can see their sample data. This takes a little bit to load all of the different data that I was showing you. All of that is right here. I have the details. I have different kind of permissions I can set up, history of how this data was replaced, the lineage. The lineage is the most best used feature of having all of these bronze, silver, and gold tables in one place. Lineage literally allows me to see how each table was created, what went into it, and if I can literally keep clicking into each of these, and it will show you all the different tables that were used to create something. And a recent question, for example, I heard was, so let's say I wanted to track down, hey, how was X created, or what is the source of this? So as we see, give me one second, this is still not the final tables. Let's say abbreviation, right? I want to understand how abbreviation was created. So it says, okay, final DexCare department tables has something called abbreviation. Can you tell me where it came from? So this is an ERD diagram. So it literally says, oh, it came from the combined provider, marketable, and Epic departments joined tables, and which had a field called department abbreviation. I'm like, okay, where did that come from? Oh, it came from Epic departments enriched. Where did that come from? It came from existing Epic departments, which is still not this is a bronze table, which means it came directly from the customer. And this is the incoming department abbreviation table. The difference between incoming and existing is we do a data diff of anything that comes in. So it's just so easy now for me to understand how any field was created. And this is only the view where data gets ingested into entities. Now, if we start pulling data from other sources, it will start populating right here all the way to even FAST pages or any other use case, admin portal, anything. All the different use cases of all the data we consume throughout the company can all be tracked here. So all of this is one piece. And coming back to the notebook though, we are creating all of these different bronze tables, silver tables, and ultimately I'm even creating the gold tables, which I was showing earlier. And all the logic for everything that's created is on here, so I can literally go back and look at anything, investigate, understand, and once I'm happy with what I like, I can even schedule a job. I'll cover that in a different video.